Hello darlings, I am Cassandra. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how to make a salamander success spell. I know, Joe, this salamander success spell, it is magic like I've never experienced. Child, I know somebody who was in a 30-year relationship and their husband held their hand throughout the night. Okay, I know people who have overcome obstacles where it was like their chances were impossible. I don't like to tell what happened. I just think there should be a certain amount of privacy when you do stuff, right? But this salamander success spell is amazing. You need some blue fabric or something with a blue pattern print on it. Now this one doesn't have the tentacles on it, and I'm going to show you what you're going to stuff it with. You do have to, I hate the word have, or like you have to do this, but it's best to sew it by hand, because when you sew it by hand you are giving it your authentic, universal, energetic imprint. Like we all have, like, you know how you have a fingerprint, where you have an energy imprint as well. So when you sew something by hand, you give it more of your authentic imprint. So here is another one that I made. This is really interesting. I do have this pattern for sale on my Etsy, in my Etsy shop, but you can find them all over the internet, but none of them have 5 fingers. The salamander actually has 5 fingers, so make sure that you can even draw it in for yourself. So, but basically this is one with the tentacles, and the eyes are Amazonite, or you can use Amazonite or aventurine for the eyes. These tentacles were like, if you, this is the worm, this is the golden worm, and inside of the worm you're going to put some of the herbs or oils and gemstones, but you're also going to put in here what you want, and you're going to feed your salamander. You don't want it hungry, darling. You want it to have instructions on what it is that you want to accomplish. And the good thing about it is, once you have accomplished that goal, you can go ahead and bury this or do whatever you want with it, and then give it something else to chew on. But this salamander, these are the tentacles. God, these are so hard to make. But you know what? There should be a level of difficulty or challenge, or where you're just thinking like, oh my God, why did I listen to her, right? Because that's how you know it's working, because you're putting your energy into it. And then I want you to think about what it is you really want. And also, I want you to think about what you are willing to give in exchange for what you want. So like, let's just say, for example, I'm just going to give a quick example. You want your channel to grow. So are you going to post daily? Are you going to post 4 times a week? You want to finish your book. How often are you going to write? Are you going to write weekly? Whatever it is that you want. If you're looking for a job, if you're looking to pass a test, you still have to give something, but the magic steps in to where there are things out of your control. So you want to attract benevolent beings, child, benevolent entities and spirits, your ancestors, to come and help you. Here's another one that I made. Now, what's interesting about these, and I'm going to take you through it in the video, is, you know, some of them have the tentacles. I think the ones underwater. I think I sold this one in this month, or did I? Yeah, I think I sold this one in, but I could just take it out if I wanted to. Again, you want blue fabric, and it's not about how pretty, and this is filled with, like I said, the gemstones, the herbs, the oils that you need to bring this about. It's not about being pretty. You can place this in your love area, but if you're going to place it in your love area, make sure that you place the 2 together, and make sure that they are on top of each other or somehow connected. Like when you place something in your love area, they should be connected, because of course you want them to be close, right? And you can place it in your money area as well, which is if you can go over on my channel. So let me just say this. Your love area, you walk into your door, right? Your farthest right corner. Like if you were to lie down, like right in the middle of your room, your right foot, that far right corner, that is your love area. Okay? You should look in there and see what's going on. Things should be in pairs. The colors are red, pink, and white. Red, pink, and white. The element is earth. You have a lot of water over there in a earth area. Listen, look in that area where your right foot is. If you were to lie out eagle spread in your house, your money area is your left foot. Okay, if you were to look at your room as a box and you were to lie down eagle spread, your left foot, that corner, the farthest left corner, that's your money, child. So you can place your salamander in either one of those areas. So now I am going to, without further ado, darling, I'm going to take you through how to make this salamander success spell. I've had a lot of good luck with it. People that I've made it for have had tremendous luck with it. I don't. I know sometimes people asking, do I make things? These things are very, it's very tedious, and so I would never be able to, I don't want to say never, but I wouldn't have as much time to do other things I want to do. So I am sharing with you how to do it, and you can purchase if you're interested, I'm not selling it to you, you can find them on the internet, but the pattern for the salamander, I wish you the very best of luck and may all of your dreams come true, darling. What you're going to need to make this salamander success spell, darling, is some type of blue fabric or blue print. Blue is the dominant theme. And make sure it's stretchy, otherwise you're going to have a really heck of a time with these little tiny fingers, child. So make sure it stretches, okay? Make sure, I would prefer, if I were you, I would go for a 4-way stretch. And you need some Amazonite or aventurine for the eyes. This is actually aventurine. Amazonite, I'm sorry. I purchased it from Amazon. So you want to use that for the eyes. This, you're going to need a tiny little piece of felt. And if you don't have felt, just whatever, just something. So you can use a sock, you can use a t-shirt, but something with a blue theme, preferably with some stretch, because it's going to be a lot easier. And you're going to need red thread and a needle, because for this project you have to sew it. Well, I hate the word have to. It's best to sew it by hand, because as you are sewing, you are going to visualize what it is you want to manifest. And you're also going to visualize the obstacles being removed. So some type of blue stretchy fabric, red thread, a needle, something to stuff it with, but you're also going to use the herbs, which I have the herbal mix, which is included with my pattern, but you can use your own herbal mix. And you're also going to need pipe cleaners for the fingers. So you're going to need about 6 to 10 pipe cleaners to make the fingers. And you want to Amazonite or aventurine for the eyes and something for the mouth. And you can even skip the mouth if you like. But anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Hello, darlings. I am Cassandra. So we're going to make the salamander success spell. The first thing you're going to need is some type of blue themed fabric. Now in this, what I'm showing you in the video, this fabric does not stretch, but child, it was a complete nightmare when you get to those little tiny fingers and the fabric doesn't stretch. Oh my goodness. So stretchy fabric to me is best. A 4-way stretch, meaning something like a t-shirt or socks. Maybe socks wouldn't be big enough, but something that's going to give you a 4-way stretch, something that is blue or blue theme, meaning that the blue color is in the fabric, and make sure that you like it, because sometimes when you're making something you think, oh, but they said it has to be blue, but I don't like this color. No, make sure that you actually like the color that you're using. Now, I'm going to talk about the salamander throughout this tutorial on how to create this salamander success spell. So one of the things I want you to know is the blue salamander, it is a real animal or amphibian or creature or being. I like to call them all beings, child. And it is on the endangered species list because people from different parts of the world look upon them as being extremely lucky. So, they're very rare. Yes, they're rare, child. They have been, people find them, people stuff them, and people keep them in their homes for good luck. So, just know that they're on the endangered species list. Now, I want you to think about the movie Frozen. The movie Frozen has a salamander in it, child, a blue salamander. Did you notice that? Yes, a blue salamander, because I'm going to tell you, if you're looking for some serious old school, magic, look at Disney. They use a lot of symbolism. They have a lot going on, and anybody who has an eye for it, or if you read a lot, you're going to see that they use a lot of information. So basically, the blue salamander and Frozen, and that, I think they purposely put that being there because they know that they are associated with extreme good luck. Okay, I would tell you this also. I stumbled upon this spell and I made it for myself. Like, I made my own salamander. I made my own ingredients to stuff it with because there is so much symbolism and such a history of this being good luck. I knew that all of that energy and all of those thoughts and all of the beliefs, because I know that once a lot of people share a belief system, whatever it is attached to, it becomes more powerful. So I thought, okay, I'm going to tap into this energy. And I can tell you that it has been extremely, extremely lucky on so many levels. And one of the things I've learned about the occult or the spiritual world is it's very important that you keep things to yourself. I mean, sometimes I just want to shout it out to the world, like, I want you to know this is what happened, but it's really not a good thing to do. It's supposed to be hidden. So, the salamander, they range in the size from 1.1 inches, 1 to 5.9 inches. I think the biggest one is a Chinese salamander, and it is like 5'9", and it weighs 143 pounds, child. And the smallest one is 1.1 inch. So that is the range of the size of salamanders, but the average salamander that you would run into is probably going to be between 6 and 12 inches. So somewhere around there. That's the average size of a salamander. They have excellent vision. They can see extremely well at night. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but they regenerate lost body parts. So let's say a predator is after them. They usually like to sacrifice their tail. This is so interesting to me. They will sacrifice their tail, and the tail would run around to distract the predator. And then they would get away, and then they would actually regenerate and grow a new tail. But they can do this for all of their limbs, all of their feet, their tail, and their eyes. Scientists have found that even if they lose an eye, they can regenerate an eye. They can regenerate the retina on their eye. And scientists at this moment are looking at what is actually happening biologically to see if they can duplicate this science to incorporate it for humans. So they're looked upon as this major transformative life form that would bring about quantum leaps to human medicine. They tend to be slippery, and they give off like a toxic oil that comes from their skin. So if you catch them, it's very dangerous to catch them. But another thing about the salamander is that they are literally, which I find very interesting, they are walking fish. Don't you think that's amazing? Listen, I'm a person who's always talking about, well, birds can't, if you are a fish and you want to fly, the salamander is actually a walking fish. And this is why they move from side to side in a certain, like they kind of like go back and forth. Now, the thing is, the symbolism surrounding the salamander is based on their ability to transform their limbs, their ability to, they're able to adapt to any situation. Some of them live completely underwater, and some of them live on land and in water, and some of them, after they're born in the water, they decide to only live on land. They typically come out at night, and they are associated with the element of fire. And the reason is because they live in old logs, and so when people would like cut down or gather logs, and they would set it on fire, they would see them come out of the log, and they would, associate them with these beings who could withstand fire. So anyway, if a salamander comes into your life, I want you to know that your life is about to transform, and you are being asked to detoxify your life from like negative thoughts, negative people, negative situation, habits that are holding you back, beliefs that no longer serve you. You're also going to be given the resources and the support that you need to help you move your life to the next level. So, I have to admit, to be honest with you guys, I don't know why this spell is powerful. I just know it works, okay? So basically, just know that, when you're doing this, know that you're going to see some changes in your life. And one of the things I would ask you to do is, there's one or two things. If you know what you want to use this spell to zone in, to help you create the environment, the habits, everything you need to be successful and to be able to accomplish that goal. And if you don't know what you want to use this spell to help you become clear about your purpose, to help you find your purpose. Do you understand what I'm saying? So one will help you get there, and one will help you discover. And once you discover it, you can go back, and I would make either make a new worm that you're going to feed the information to, or there are other beings we're going to make throughout this channel. But just remember, sometimes I'm learning a lot of people don't know why they're here or what they want to do with their life. So if you don't really know what you want to do, that's the energy you want to put into it. So, while you are creating your salamander, it is highly recommended that you use needle and thread. Creating this is supposed to be difficult. It's supposed to be tedious. You're supposed to hate me for a few minutes. You're supposed to think, why did I watch your channel? Why did I decide to make this? What am I doing? What is wrong with me? If you don't go through a moment of like, I can't stand Cassandra for having me make this, and why did I do this, then you're probably not doing it right, because it's supposed to be difficult. Now, when you are sewing the salamander and you're using red thread, and I don't want to say have to, it is highly recommended that you use the red thread, because red activates the spell. It activates the power of the being that you are creating, okay? Now, while you are sewing, if you know what you want, I want you to visualize accomplishing that goal, okay? If you have any affirmations that you use, I want you to silently say them to yourself as you are sewing your salamander. If there are obstacles in your way, I want you to visualize these obstacles crumbling, and you can use the symbolism of a mountain crumbling, or sometimes, you know, like if you look at a river and just say it was blocked, and then you imagine that the water is flowing through. You know, everybody have different ways to visualize clarity. Or maybe there was a thunderstorm and there was dark clouds, and you imagine the clouds separating and the sun coming through. But make sure that you visualize and put the energy of what you want happening for you, coming to you, that type of thing. Now, one of the things I like to do when I'm making my salamanders, this is original Cassandra. When I say original Cassandra, you know, I've learned that when it's time for an idea to come into the world, you think you originated the idea, but then you realize so many other people have had the same idea. But for me, I have a saying. I like to say, I am saturated in God's grace. I am saturated in God's love. I am saturated in God's mercy. I am saturated in God's excellent health. I am saturated in God's blessings. I am saturated in God's well-being. I am saturated in God's prosperity. And I am saturated in God's divine excellent luck. I am saturated in God's divine guidance. Now, some people are very uncomfortable with the word God. Especially people would think like, oh my God, how could you do spell word, and how can you make these beings and say you believe in God? You know, I believe in God, child. I believe in the angelic realm. My beliefs tend to be eclectic, and that's just me. If you don't feel comfortable with the word God, you might say goddess, you may say divine mother. You can just leave it out. I am saturated in love. I am saturated in grace. I am saturated in mercy. I am saturated in well-being. I am saturated in peace. I am saturated in blessings. I'm saturated in wealth. I'm saturated in abundance. I'm saturated in prosperity. All of my dreams are coming true under grace and in a perfect way. Like, these are things that I say to myself as I am creating, okay? So if you don't have your affirmations that you use, you are free to use this phrase and tailor it to your own belief system. So I want you to know that the salamander will help you overcome any obstacles in your life that you will encounter. And it's going to help you to realize that you are a limitless being. That is so funny. When I say it's funny, it's like sometimes we think that, you know, when somebody say, okay, oh, you're not going to be able to get this job. And you believe them, right? Because you don't know anything else. And then, because you know, somebody can tell you, well, you know, you're not qualified or you're not good enough, but you'll find out there are so many people who find a back door, they find another way. It's just, you're going to see that what you want, it wants you as well. So the salamander is encouraging you to accept change in your life, and for you not to feel like overwhelmed by the changes that are coming, you know, so you can feel good about yourself. You can feel that you can handle it's kind of like this. I know you guys know about this. There is so much research that shows that when people hit the lottery, like for $1 million, a large majority of those people are destroyed by the money they won. Well, because, you know, family members and friends start asking them for things. If you have a problem, money typically exacerbates that problem. So if you have a spending problem, you know, you just got more money to spend. If you got a drinking problem, you got more money to drink. You have, you know what I'm saying? If you have a problem saying no, now you just have more people to use you. So a lot of times when their dreams come true, they create a whole nother set of problems that is unexpected. So being prepared for the transformation of your life and the changes that are going to come is a really big part of, to me, healthy spiritual work. I say that because I think sometimes people think, well, I just want to, you know, I just want what I want. I just want this, not realizing that when you get a baby, like somebody said, oh my God, I want a baby. And then you get the baby and now you can't sleep at night, or you get a baby and the baby wasn't what you expected, or the baby has intellectual disability or physical disability. Like, sometimes people don't realize that when you ask for something, there are so many variables tied to what it is that you think you want, or you may really want. Like, you might want to be famous, but you don't even know what it's like to go out and not be able to finish a meal without somebody asking you questions. And even though you're going to get positive reviews, you're going to get negative reviews, and you're going to have people who are going to drag your name through the mud. Everything that you want has the concept of the roses have thorns. Okay, the rose is a beautiful, beautiful flower, but it also has thorns. But it's not, I look at it like this. The thorns are not there just so to ruin the rose experience for you, darling. The thorns are there also to keep people away who cannot appreciate the beauty of the rose. So what this means to me is, let's just say somebody look and they say, oh my God, that's a beautiful rose. Let me just pick the roses. Well, you pick the roses and you don't appreciate their beauty, and you think you're just going to leave them strewn about. No, you're going to get pricked, darling. You're going to get pricked because you're going to appreciate the beauty and the magnificence of this particular rose. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Some things demand our respect. So on the one hand, I feel that when you say, I want this, you know, a lot of times people say they want to make, this is really a good, this success spell, Salamander success spell, I think it works for relationships. I really don't know what the limitations are to it yet. I have just seen it personally create like some serious miracles. And I want to say this, I always joke that there's a spiritual team, right? And they're like the real superheroes that we don't see. And they're looking for big problems. Like, if you're just thinking, oh my God, I just broke my nail, they're not interested. But if you are trying to escape slavery, they're like, okay, sign me up. You know what I mean? Like, I think some spiritual beings, archangels, they want to help us, but only when we are like living our highest and best life. When we're out there taking chances, taking risks, setting the world out on fire, that's the type of work that they're interested in. And what I have observed and experienced with my own personal experience with the salamander, I think it's one of these type of beings that really wants a challenge. Just the fact that it can lose his limbs and regrow them, I think that should tell you right there it's a magical being, that there's something super special about it, something very powerful about it. The very fact that it's a walking fish. Wait, you mean to tell me that it was designed to be in water, but it decided to come on land? To me, that's deep. So this means that if this salamander has come into your life, you are a person who have the power to adapt to any situation. But it also, to me, shows that you are unique, and you listen to the call of your own drum. You know what I mean? Because you're not following the crowd. Because the crowd is still in the water, child, but you decided to be a walking fish. Hello? So basically, the salamander will come into your life if you are undergoing some many challenges, if you are uncertain about your future, if you are looking to see a better version of yourself, if you have been struggling with something for a very long time and you have not been able to bring that vision into fruition, the salamander can actually help you materialize the next level of your success. And basically also, if you need to gain wisdom, the wisdom that goes with this whole new level of accomplishments, that is a really big part of the salamander. You remember, if you hit that lottery for $10 million, you want to be the person who wants to know how to invest that money, know not to go and tell family and friends, know how to live, beneath your means, how to turn that 10 million into 20 million. You don't want to be a person who have this level of success. So there is something else really interesting about the salamander that I read. It says that the salamander is a creature of the hidden, Salamander opens us up to secrets within ourselves, secrets within others, and secrets of the spirit. The salamander also teaches us that it's important to keep secrets of our life secret, and to do this with a sense of subtlety that does not draw attention to ourselves. So it's telling you to move in secret, because remember, they only come out at night, and even at night they're hitting. They're very cryptic creatures. They're very powerful and magical. Even just from a standpoint of, we don't understand how they can lose a limb and regenerate it. Okay, not even talking about a magic spell. We're talking about, here, take my tail because I'm going to grow another one back in 2 months. How magical is that? Who has a spell like that, right? But the thing about another aspect of a salamander that I find extremely interesting, child, is that from a spiritual perspective, they think that they are teaching a lesson of being able to not only maneuver in your environment and secretive, but also to be able to fight back in a way that is stealth, so people don't see you coming, child. Not, basically, you know how sometimes people have a big mouth and they say what they're going to do, and there are people who are trying to hurt you. Let's say you're trying to move up, and there are a lot of people who are stabbing you in your back or saying negative things about you or putting obstacles in your way. The salamander comes in your life to say, you know what, child, you don't want to come at them directly. You want to come at them indirectly. They won't even know what hit them. So basically, you could be trying to progress in an environment that is toxic, right? But you can do other things that can stop people from hurting you who wish you harm. So you may need to learn how to fight back without brute force, but the salamander teach you how to fight back with your words, with silent actions, and mannerisms. Like, for example, oh my God, I've been reading so much stuff about different hand signs that can protect your aura, that can push when a person is bullying you, how you can actually push their energy back into their solar plexus. I think I've read it in this book called Glamour Magic. I'm going to do a review about this book. It's one of the best books I've ever read. I love it so much. But you're going to learn that when you are moving around in the world and you're trying to elevate yourself, as some people say, you're trying to level up, you're going to come into a lot of resistance from within yourself. You're going to find yourself feeling super lazy, and you're going to find people that are pulling you back. All of these factors are just a part of the growth process, but the salamander will come into your life to help you move through those obstacles. Now, of course, darling, I like to give you a warning. I don't like for people to just go get the little herbs and make the little salamander and just think, oh my God, life is about to be gravy. Well, okay, let me give you the shadow side of making the salamander and bringing its energy into your life. I always like to give a warning. I try to be as honest and transparent as I can, because when I started on my spiritual journey, there were a lot of things I worked on, and I don't think people were always honest about, oh yeah, I didn't tell you about that. I remember when I first started working with my chakras, and I'm going to get right back to the salamander. I started working with opening up my chakras, clearing my chakras. And when I started working on my third chakra, which is 2 inches above your navel, like right your stomach area, that's your ego, your self-esteem. I remember I put all the little, I read it in a book. I put all the little gemstones on my third chakra, the tiger's eye, the citrine, the whole little knot. I did the whole little, meditation. And then I went into maybe a 3-month depression. Because what happened is, during the meditation, the first vision I saw was when I had knee surgery in my left knee. I couldn't bend my left knee because I had a gangrene infection and I almost lost my leg. I think I've told that story before. And I was in the lunchroom and I was eating alone. In elementary school, I had just I had taken like the whole 4th grade off. I was tutored because of the constant knee surgeries, because they were trying not to amputate my leg. And when I worked on my self-esteem, my 3rd chakra, the vision that came to me immediately was how the kids were trying to kick me in my knee, where I'd had all of the surgeries, and they were calling me peg leg, and I was crying, eating, like, I remember it was like a meatloaf and mashed potato lunch, and I was crying in my food, and I was just so lonely at the end of the table by myself, and the kids wouldn't walk with me, and the kids wouldn't play with me, and I had forgotten about that time in my life. So I was so sad, and I was feeling all of those emotions that I felt at that time. And I ended up calling I found a spiritual director at that time, and he was my spiritual director for 10 years. And he said, I hated how when all of these people share all this information with people and they never warn them. So he did a lot of work with me to help me get past a period. Now I'm in I think somewhere in my mid-30s, early 30s, but I had completely blocked out this part of my life. So I'm just going to tell you that when you work with the Salamander success spell energy, you're going to be becoming aware, conscientious of the shadow aspect of yourself. Like, you're going to look at the part of yourself. There are going to be traits about you that you dislike, that you have just really not been honest about. Like, for example, if you like to gossip, or if you are a liar, or if you're not as disciplined or organized as you should be. You see that maybe you're lazy, or that you are, you're not looking at what you are not doing to bring about the change that you are seeking in life. You're going to see yourself in a very clear manner for the first time. Maybe not for the first time, child, but it's going to be super clear to you, and you're going to feel guilty. I have to be honest with you. I am working on some things that it bothers me, and even though I can see it, it just seems like I'm having a hard time stopping myself from doing it. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's nothing major, but it's kind of like, why are you watching videos when you haven't done your yoga breaths? Why are you doing this when you haven't, worked in your book today? It's like you're going to see yourself clearer than you've ever seen yourself before, and you may start to feel guilty or helpless, or you're going to scrutinize yourself. You're going to say, okay, there's a lot of the things that you see in other people that you may not like this person, but the reason you don't like them is because a part of you have the same characteristics and same traits as that person. So it's really a part of yourself that you don't like. Another thing I want you to know about this salamander is that the salamander does not have any vocalization. They don't make noises. I think some people say that there's a species of them that actually maybe barks a little bit during mating season, but typically the average salamander does not speak at all. So again, we're talking about being quiet. We're talking about adapting to environments. We're talking about working in silence. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about being able to, what sacrifices are you willing to make to get where you need to go? I think one of the biggest lessons I like for you to take with you is that the salamander is able to regenerate their tail, their legs, their various limbs when they fear they're being attacked by a predator. Now that's some deep. What are you willing to sacrifice in order to get where you really want to go? Because you know that in the end, you're going to still get it back. You understand what I'm saying? And it's also about shutting up. Like, do you really need to, argue with people, or argue with this boss, or whatever it is you're working on? Maybe your greatest power is your action and what you are doing. Also learning how to fight back without brute force, without people seeing that without people being able to see that you're coming. Developing a different strategy is also about knowledge as well. When you're moving to the next level, making sure that you have the wisdom and the intellectual skills to handle your new level of success. This salamander success spell is very, very potent, is very rich. So I'm just going to tell you, as you are sewing the salamander, you want to have some type of affirmations in your mind about success. You want to see your obstacles and limitations being removed from your life. Okay? Now, in my video, I'm showing you how to make a worm, because they eat worms and other small insects, because I feel like, of course, you want to feed them, because you want to give them, I like to, put some of the herbs and write down on parchment paper what it is that I'm manifesting, right? So you want to make sure, and this way I can, once I have what I want to bury the worm in the ground, the golden worm, and then I can give it a new assignment. So think about what it is that you want. You definitely, to me, the best practice would be to sew this by hand. You don't need to do it all in one day, because honestly, you're sewing with a needle and thread, and sometimes, if you haven't sewn in a long time, your arm can hurt, or you'll become distracted. But take your time and sew your being. When you're making it, turn the fingers out. When you're stuffing it, if you're looking for love, you're going to put it in the far right corner in your home. If you're looking for money, you're going to put it. If you're looking for love, make sure you make two. Okay, I'm going to tell you that over and over again. If you're looking for money, you're going to put it in the far left corner. If you're looking for direction, you're going to, when you walk into a room, you want to find the center wall of the entry, right? The center wall of the entry. If you're looking for a path, like if you're looking for help with your career or trying to figure out the best direction to go into, that is the area where you would like to place your salamander. If you're looking for help from your divine spiritual team, you want to put it in the immediate right corner of your home. So you would say, you want angelic help with, or your spiritual team, or whatever you're looking for help with, to move obstacles in terms of, maybe you're looking to be promoted, or you're looking to get through a difficult classroom, or you're looking to graduate. So I'm going to do a video on how to recognize the different areas in your home that represent various aspects of your life. Have fun making this beautiful creature, this beautiful, very powerful being. Isn't it gorgeous? It's so cute. I want you to keep in mind that sometimes when you want something really bad, you face the same level of spiritual resistance. So for example, you really, really, really want to write that paper, but you just cannot find the motivation to write the paper, because there is this internal and resistance. You really do want your degree. You really do want those things. But there's this other part of you that is preventing you from moving forward with the same level of force. And this is why this Salamander Success Spell is a wonderful addition to your repertoire, darling, because it's going to help you move through those spiritual, emotional, and psychological obstacles that are preventing you from moving forward in your life the way you want to. This is a very fun project. As always, make sure that you hide it from everyone. Do not tell anyone why you are creating it. Make sure that it's placed someplace in secret, and that as you are doing this, pay attention to your hunches. Make sure you are reading new material, because when you are on a journey to growth, you're going to always be guided to different books, different channels. The universe is going to help you gather the new information and knowledge that you're going to need to be successful on your journey. Thank you so much for watching, darling. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.